Captain Sylvia, appreciate your time. Obviously, we're approaching, 3 hours since this incident began?
Close to 3 hours. So I can tell you that 7:08 this evening, our units were dispatched to a vehicle accident with extrication. In the notes, it stated that there was a helicopter that had crashed on US 50. Obviously, that's a little jarring to us to see that a helicopter went down and not knowing the magnitude of that, especially since Highway 50 is currently under construction, and typically day or night you're going to see a lot of traffic that's impacted by this construction that's on this freeway. So what we needed initially was a patient count or a victim count from our crews. The first engine got on scene and recognized that there were three crew members from a Reach helicopter that had gone down on the freeway. There were no patients that they were transporting at that particular point. They had just offloaded a patient at UC Davis and were flying back. At that point, they needed to figure out the level of extrication that was needed, because there was one female who was trapped. At that point, there was no truck on scene for extrication tools, just a fire engine. So that captain quickly sequestered the help of multiple civilians to come over and lift this helicopter off of that victim. At that point, crews were able to get her out. All 3 victims were transported within 20 minutes of arriving on scene, which is remarkable. Those stats are just not seen. So crews did an excellent job getting these 3 victims off. However, they were all transported in critical condition. We cannot take 3 critical patients to one hospital. That hospital typically would be UC Davis. So we made contact with UC Davis and got alternative destinations for them. So UC Davis wasn't fully impacted by what they have currently going on and all these victims coming in. They were all transported. At this point, the freeway is still shut down while the wreckage gets removed. CHP has their accident investigation team that will do the law enforcement side of things, but as far as the fire set of things that we did, the fire and medical, was dealing with those 3 critical victims, and also making sure whenever you see a type of aviation accident, a big concern is the fuel that's on board, that is a very higher octane than just fuel for automobiles. So making sure that fire hazard was mitigated. There was no active flames. There was a large column of smoke that initially came out of that helicopter from video that we have seen, but no fire hazard at that point.
How important was that there was no fire?
So what people do not really think of is there's not a lot of fire hydrants along the freeways. So if we did have some type of large fire incident involving the helicopter or multiple vehicles, we need to transport our own water to the scene, whether that be water tenders, a water shuttle that we set up. Multiple factors go into that. So thankfully, we did not have any fire hazard on this with active fire going on.
And so the 3 that were crew members from the helicopter, correct?
Yes, so you have a pilot, a nurse, and a paramedic that were on board at the time of the crash.
Male, female?
2 females, 1 male.
The person that you said was trapped, can you talk a little bit more about them, if they experienced any injuries?
They're in critical condition at this point, but our crews did report initially that she was talking to them. And that's when all the bystanders came over and quickly extricated her. I think without the help of the community tonight, this could have been a lot different outcome for that individual. Luckily, people are good humans and they want to get out and help the community, and that's exactly what they did tonight.
So for her, did the plane hit her car? Kind of what happened? Because there were earlier reports that there may have been a car underneath.
So it was a helicopter, just want to clarify that, not a fixed wing aircraft, but the helicopter started to go down, and what some bystanders report is they started seeing that helicopter go down and traffic started to slow. So there was an initial report that there was a vehicle involved with someone that was injured from that vehicle. That is completely incorrect. There were no vehicles involved in this. It was just the helicopter, thankfully.
What do you want people to know?
Traffic is going to be impacted. CHP nor the fire department have a time frame on that. Just avoid the area. I think that we just really need to be thankful that no others were injured in this, because a helicopter, major freeway, major city during construction, this could have been a totally different outcome.
Do you know where the helicopter was coming from, where it was going?
The initial reports that we're hearing are it was coming from UC Davis. It just offloaded a patient at UC Davis and was flying out. That destination is unclear to us.
Chris, did you want to ask anything? Captain, anything else we haven't asked anyone in the community too?
I think that's it.